case, we were looking for a maximum of 3, are then invited to be to the next step, which is interviews. And from those interviews, the reviewing committee makes a consultant selection for that 5-year term and notifies the FAA. Next slide, please, John. So in 2021, for the 2021 selection process, we followed the 5 steps. We gained FAA approval of our selection packet. We advertised for 30 days in multiple publications. We received for the engineering and architectural and engineering services area, we received 6 statements of qualifications. From those 6, we invited 3 very competitive, wonderful firms that all could do the job to interview. And from those interviews, we were fortunate to have a very good field of candidates, but the committee unanimously chose Aviation because they could best serve the needs of the airport going into the projects that we have slated for the next 5 years. Next slide, please, John. So Aviation, sorry, it looks a little different than I expected. So Aviation, just a little bit of an introduction. We actually have Aviation joining us, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the firm, but then I'll offer the commission an opportunity if they have any questions to be able to ask them of Aviation themselves. In particular, Aviation is a aviation-specific engineering and architectural firm. They are a full-service firm with a proven track record with similarly sized airports and single runway airports. They have locations in Colorado, where they're headquartered, California, Utah, Missouri, and Wyoming. And something that was, something that was important for us and very exciting for us as part of Aviation's commitment to providing services, they're looking to actually base an office in Ventura County. So they will actually be partnering. They have a firm they're going to be partnering with, opening an office. They'll start slowly, and then they plan to, part of Aviation's commitment is to be a partner with Ventura County Airports, but also a partner to the community of Ventura County. They'll be looking to grow their business from the Ventura County office throughout California. So with that, I might actually bring on Travis Vallon, who is from Aviation, to introduce himself and to open the platform for any questions should the commission have any. Travis?
Yeah, thanks. Again, my name is Travis Vallon. I'm a partner at Aviation. We are excited to, as been discussed, to partner with Ventura County. 2 very dynamic and active airports that we are excited to be a part of. Again, as we have stated, we will be a part of the community. I will serve as the project director. Our project manager, Matt Gilbreth, is actually traveling tonight. He might be able to join us by the end of the meeting, but we believe to be successful, we need to be a part of the community. We have an office location already picked out. We will be at 56 East Main Street in Ventura. So when you start to see vehicles driving up and down the street with Aviation on it, you can go, I know what those people are and why they're here. So again, we're excited about the partnership. Also, my business partner, JD Ingram, is on with me as well. But we would be happy to answer any questions that you may have of us.
Are there any questions from the commissioners regarding J Aviation? I just have one question. How many airports has J Aviation serviced in California?
JD, I'm gonna let you kind of take that since you lead up our California practice.
Yeah, so we're currently working at San Jose International. We have an airfield and architectural on-call there. We also work at Oakland International. We've done work. We worked on a kind of a new airport development for the city of Palmdale in Southern California. We're working at South Lake Tahoe Airport in Northern California. So I think we have about 6 airports now that we work at. We also support Southwest Airlines and FedEx in the state of California.
Thank you. Any other questions from the commission?
Yes. Is it possible we could create some synergy to maybe bring in a carrier or two back into Oxnard Airport?
Absolutely. We are fully dedicated to the success of the Ventura County airports, and one of the challenges is being able to work with the FAA to position the airport to get the infrastructure dollars to support air carrier operations. And I will say Kip and his team have done an excellent job of setting the stage. My guess is before we're all done, we may end up in Washington, D.C., kind of stating the case for Ventura County airports. But I believe the future is very bright with the opportunities to bring in those airlines and to start airline service, without a doubt.
That would be very welcome.
Commissioner Weiss, are there any other questions from the commissioners or clarification questions of staff? Hearing that, I'll entertain a motion for the staff recommendation.
Adriana Vandergraff, move approval.
Steve Weiss, second.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none. Anna, call for the vote.
Robert Trimborn,
Aye.
Maggie Bird,
Yes.
Adriana Vandergraaf,
Yes.
Nanette Metz,
Yes.
Steve Weiss.
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, and congratulations to J Aviation. Next up is the director's report. Mr. Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A few updates from some of the items we've been bringing updates to you on for a while now. As they continue to evolve, we'll continue to update your commission and the authorities that we meet with later tonight, and of course the Board of Supervisors. The first one is on our hangar lease update. We will continue. We are still bringing that to you on March the 1st, for your body. And then March the 11th for the authorities. And then now we have a date set for March 23rd for the Board of Supervisors, in hopes to put that 7-year ordeal behind us once and for all, hopefully. We sent out the latest draft on the lease on the 1st of February, or I did, and that went out to all of the private hangar owners that we had the ability to contact and reach, which we think is the bulk of our hangar owner file electronically. And then we held a virtual meeting today with any interested hangar owners in that party of private hangar owners that were interested in meeting with airport staff to either question or illustrate concerns that they still may have remaining on that lease. We did that through an invite, and we had 46 people register for that. And out of the 46 that registered, we had, I believe it was 32 attendees, 32 or 34 attendees, inclusive of staff and county representation. So out of that, I think about 28 or 29 of those were actual private hangar owners that attended. The virtual meeting today went for almost 2 hours. It was a very productive meeting. We received some good feedback and questions and comments. I believe we have probably put together what may be the most generous lease that I've ever seen for private hangar owners in the over 30 years that I've been doing this. And I'm excited for that because I'm first and foremost a pilot. So that means one day I might get this lease for me. So I'm excited about that. There seem to be two particular sections that might still be an area where you hear discussion next week. I'm not sure, even though we tried to address those areas again today, and you've heard the areas be discussed already in previous times we brought these leases forward. Both of those areas are areas that again, if they do require discussion, will happen in the March meetings. But a little prelude into that is that there are two items that county council is pretty the position for the county needs to be a certain position on those two items. So the items that we think we had maneuvering room on, we have maneuvered. We have really made this a very generous offering lease. Even more so than what was requested of us when the last time we brought it to the advisory bodies, which happens to be March of last year. COVID caused the long break that we had to get it back to you. And we were only asked to look at 6 items. Out of the 6 items we were asked to go back and look at, we actually amended 5 of them in favor of the tenant request. One of them was a legal item we had no ability to amend. And then on top of that, since we had extra time on our hands, I took another stab at the lease personally and went through it literally from a pilot's perspective of the dream lease, if you will, and literally have drafted what I think is a dream lease for someone on the receiving end. So we're excited about that progress, and we're excited about that process ahead of us to hopefully finalize this ordeal that again has been going on now for almost 7 years, I believe. I know the 2 I've been here, and I believe it was almost 5 before.
You're correct.
I knew it was pretty close to that, if not exactly. Yeah, thank you. The next update from the director's report here is an update on the Northeast Hangar development, which is a phase 1 of some private hangars that they're not private, they're county-owned hangars. Phase 1 of county-owned hangars that we've been building. We're happy to say that we're nearing completion on that now. The last time we spoke, or that we reported back to you, is we had a holdup waiting on some materials to put the floor sealant down. Since then, the materials have come in, and the work is now nearing completion. Actually, we're doing Aaron and I are doing a walkthrough, what's called a final walkthrough tomorrow morning. So we're really excited about that. We've simultaneously, during the course of the project, been working on our wait list protocols and updating our county-owned hangar lease and policy and so forth. And all of those we anticipate being wrapped up and ready to go with the new hangars. And we anticipate being able to start putting folks in those new hangars probably in the early part of March. So we're excited about that finally coming to a point of finality as well, it looks like. The next update is on the master plan study that we've talked a great deal about, and that that we went and requested and received a $750,000 grant for. As I recall, we kicked that off officially on November the 18th. It's about a 12 to 18 month study. We have now set the first date for the first public workshop out of 4. which will be on May the 13th. And we're in the process now of finalizing publication materials, putting together the planning advisory committee. And then, of course, your bodies will be updated every time we have any formal sessions of that study. And then, of course, all the communication will be to you in advance for your participation. I'm sorry, was there a question to that? And then the final update that I had for the director's report is an update on the Oxnard runway and taxiway runway reconstruction project. We're right at 100% design now. We had a very lengthy meeting with the team yesterday. And I want to say thank you to Aviation, particularly. Aviation has been joining in on many of the items that we've had going on for the last few weeks outside of a contract. So that tells you their dedication to our system and our airports. And we're appreciative of that. So they were included in that discussion yesterday, which of course included Mead and Hunt, who is the team that has done the design on that project. And we anticipate having that design effort wrapped up as far as the 100% design portion of it sometime later this month, and going out for bids in March. We still have a final workshop that we're going to be doing with our tenants and any interested public on that we are planning to do after receiving the FAA grant, which we envision to be sometime in May, based on all of the anticipation that we have from various conversations. And with that, we anticipate the construction to start in still sometime in June, as we've been saying all along. I do want to continue to remind your board and any other venues that we talk about this in, that the start date of the construction is always contingent on the timing of the FAA grant. So if the FAA grant were to be later than expected coming in, that would, of course, push our construction start date out. And I want to continue to remind all of our tenants of that, all of our advisory bodies of that, and everybody that has an interest in that project. And last but not least, even though I said that was last, I just want to remind your commission, and we'll do so again in the authorities later on tonight when we meet with them at 7, that we are excited about the fact that we are, and a lot of it's thanks to our wonderful internal team, John and Anna, but we have invested in, gotten experience on, and developed a platform of our own to branch into our own ability to conduct our own meetings, and we're going to do that starting in April. You were brought up to speed on that last month, and while we intend to, when the public participation can be in person, when that becomes available, which we don't know that that'll be April, but when that happens, that'll be at the Oxnard terminal. Until then, we will be conducting the meetings starting in April from our admin headquarters in Camarillo or our admin headquarters in Oxnard, wherever the team feels is most appropriate. But we're going to be doing that on our own in April. The only thing we won't have from that point forward would be the live stream TV on Camarillo, but we will have 2 other mediums that give a better and greater reach than that was given for us. That was only capturing part of our audience anyway. So we're really excited about that. It's an investment that has really got our team excited, and I hope has you excited, because it's getting airport meetings back to airports, and that's always a positive thing. So with that is the only items that I had for the director's report. I'm happy to field any questions. Floor is yours, Mr. Chairman. You're on mute.
My space bar stopped unmuting me. I'm sorry. So thank you, Mr. Director. Are there any questions of the director? Hearing none. Reports, item 8.
nothing to report that's not in your packet.
Thank you. Number 9 is correspondence. I just have one question of the director. I noticed there's a letter to RKR, and that's Cloud9 hangars. Is that true?
I'll be honest, I've got to look back. Probably, I don't doubt it, but it probably is.
I'm just curious when the Cloud9 construction is going to commence and if there's going to be a groundbreaking.
Oh, yeah. Our understanding is they're getting very close, and I do believe they are planning a groundbreaking. But now that is a third-party project, so we're just on the receiving end of all of that as well as you are. So, but I do believe they're getting close to having everything that they need in line to move forward. As you know, they executed their lease. So I don't think they would, be in that position if they weren't pretty close, but we would have to probably to have the finite answer you might be looking for, probably would need to round up a Cloud9 RKR representative and either ask them to join us for a meeting or give us an official report on their end.
Thank you. Any other questions of the director for the correspondence? Just receive and file the correspondence then. Any commissioner comments? Item 10. Hearing none, we'll move to adjournment. I don't believe we need a motion to adjourn, so the meeting is.
So moved. Steve Weiss.
Thank you. The meeting is therefore adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
The staff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.